Lily Berger and Jerry Fields are amazing best friends with different personalities. Jerry is open-minded from an easygoing family, while Lily is reserved and from a dysfunctional home. Jerry convinces Lily to do something wild by getting naked on Brighton Beach and running into the water. Lily is at first reluctant, eventually concedes, and they are almost harassed by some lustful guys. As they cycle back from their adventure, Jerry hits a signpost but doesn't immediately apologize, and this annoys David Avery, the ice cream seller who behaves like a jerk to her while she is still nice to him. Lily calls him out as she and Jerry leave, then he takes a picture of Lily as they leave. Jerry tries to defend David's attitude, but Lily isn't having it, and this makes Jerry realize Lily likes David as she does. The mood changes when Lily returns to her dysfunctional family. Her mother, Norma Berger, is trying to get her two younger sisters to eat and is uptight about everything. Norma sends Lily to call her dad, Edward, a doctor whose office is at home. As Lily enters the office, she finds him having an affair with his so-called client, and he only notices once she closes the door and walks away. Unable to speak to each other when Edward arrives, Lily goes to have dinner at Jerry's lively home. Jerry's father, Danny, is preparing the meal, and her mother, Kate, and brother all make the house lively, but as the conversation around the table gets weirder for Lily and Jerry, they excuse themselves. Outside, they talk about how Lily walked in on her father and the fact that she hasn't told her mother yet. The conversation leads to the fact that as they are about to enter college, they are the only girls who have never had sex. So, they decide to lose their virginity, and for this, they both realize they need a guy. As Lily heads to work as a tour guide, David spots her but is unable to get to her because of traffic. So, he prints the picture he took of her and pastes them at a certain point, and on one, he requests her address. Lily sees this and is impressed, but when she meets Jerry to tell her, she discovers something disappointing. Jerry found the restaurant David works at through a book on his ice cream stand that day, and made her family go for dinner there. Lily keeps her story to herself and instead talks about her boss, Fitzsimmons, who is interested in her. That night, Eleanor, one of Lily's sisters, comes to inform her that their mother is crying. Lily guesses the mother discovered the affair, so she brings her sisters to her room and does not interfere. The next morning, Lily goes to Brighton Beach and David walks up to meet her. He invites her to an event, but she declines. She shouts her address out to David as he leaves as he requested on the posters. When Jerry and Lily meet that evening, Jerry complains that she could not reach David and thinks Lily sees her as an idiot. Lily doesn't speak of her meeting with David and states that Jerry barely knows the guy. Lily heads home to find that Norma has kicked Edward out of the house because of his affair. She defends Edward, but Norma is unmoved, so she leaves the house and sits outside. Surprisingly, David finds her and takes her to the studio he lives in. The owner lets him live there in exchange for him being the studio's security. They talk for a while and he asks her to read a poem for him and kisses her midway, but he stops before they make out and suggests that she gets home. Before Lily leaves, she confronts David about inviting Jerry on a date and asks if he will push through with it. As Lily and Jerry discuss one evening, Jerry says that David showed no interest in her on their date even though she dressed to show she wanted to hook up. Then, David joins Lily and Jerry outside because Jerry had invited him to the bar for her performance. Lily and David act like they aren't familiar with each other, but as Jerry sings, David and Lily secretly hold hands under the table. Outside, after the performance, David dips his hands into the pocket of Lily's jacket like he is making a mockery of the fact that it is her dad's. The girls discuss when David leaves, and as soon as they part ways, Lily pulls out an artwork David had dropped in her pocket. The next day, when Lily finishes her job, Fitzsimmons, her boss, makes advances at her in a harassing manner, but she excuses herself. When she discusses it at Jerry's home, Kate calls it verbal molestation and wants her to take it up to save another girl in the future, but Jerry wants her mum out of the talk. Kate leaves and Jerry asks Lily if she is okay, stating that it must feel good to have a guy want her body. That night, as Lily returns home from work, she meets David outside her house. She confronts him about showing up at her house anytime and David starts to leave, clearly not pleased with her reaction, but stops when she states that she doesn't understand him. They end up kissing and Lily leads him to a place in her house where they make out. When Lily states that she is scared because it is her first, David asks her if she wants her first to be him and she agrees. With that, they go ahead. In the morning, Lily meets her dad outside who wants to have dinner with her, but she declines because she doesn't want to deal with her Patton's problems. During a party later at Jerry's house, Jerry talks about how she tried to invite David but he declined and doesn't talk much. As Lily showers the next morning, she is surprised to see David get into her room from the window and they make out again. She follows him that day around the city as he places his artwork around. Night falls and Lily is at David's place after making out again. Her phone is dead, so she calls her mother with David's phone and is shocked to hear that Danny has died and Jerry has been trying to reach her. She quickly heads to the Fields' home to meet Jerry, apologizes profusely, and comforts her. Lily talks with her dad in the morning about moving back in, but he says he is trying to be understanding of Norma's feelings. At Jerry's place, Jerry says she wants to leave the house for work, but Kate wouldn't agree. Jerry also confesses that in all this, she still thinks about David, and him comforting her, and Lily quietly listens. So, when David calls Lily's home line in the night, she asks Eleanor to lie that she isn't around. But David confronts her on her way to work and Lily tries not to talk with him because she feels guilty. She then asks David to comfort Jerry. Jerry is surprised to see David at her home and takes him to her father's garden to talk. She talks about her experiences with her dad, asks David to hug her while she cries, and finally asks David to sleep with her. She claims that she feels he understands and he hugs her. During Danny's memorial service, Lily and Jerry step out of the house because the service is overwhelming for Jerry. Outside, Jerry tells Lily about how she lost her virginity to David the previous night, but Lily doesn't react happily. Jerry thinks Lily is worried about her, so she tells her she is fine and hugs her. Lily gets home, vents her anger on her sisters, then tries to call David but gets to voicemail. Furious, she meets Fitzsimmons, gets drunk, and they almost have sex, but Lily runs away. From there, she heads to David's place to confront him about sleeping with Jerry and tells him she slept with Fitzsimmons to annoy him. The next day, Lily returns home to find that her dad is back. To her parents' surprise, she is not pleased even though she had been advocating for it to happen. It turns out that Norma has forgiven him and was the one who asked him to return. When Lily and Jerry meet, Jerry talks about what she will do when Lily leaves for college and the conversation moves to David. Jerry asks if she should call him, but Lily surprisingly gets angry and tells Jerry she is making a fool out of herself and David will reach out if he wants to see her. Lily then apologizes and leaves. Another day, David meets Lily on the road and attempts to talk to her, but she runs from him. David chases after her and claims he didn't sleep with Jerry, but Lily calls him a liar. He asks Lily to tell Jerry everything, but she refuses and leaves. Lily and Jerry meet again and Jerry is happy because, this time, David called her and asked to meet on a Sunday. On Sunday, Lily watches David and Jerry hang out together for a while, then heads to her home. Jerry goes to Lily's house after some time, tells her that David will be leaving for Paris tomorrow, and hugs her. The next day, Lily goes to meet David before he leaves, but David has a bit of a temper. He says he is leaving for work in Paris because he is tired of everything happening, but Lily asks him to stay. David asks her to confess to Jerry, but she says she can't because she doesn't want to hurt her. Lily then confesses that she didn't sleep with Fitzsimmons, but said it to get at him. David finds a cab and kisses Lily before he goes. As Lily walks back crying, she spots Jerry who had been watching from afar. Jerry confronts her about the kiss and Lily confesses that she had been seeing David since Danny died. When Danny died, she broke up with him and asked him to see Jerry, though not to sleep with her. Jerry is angry because Lily tried to play God and leaves. One day, Lily confesses to her dad that she slept with a guy Jerry liked. He talks about how much easier forgiving someone is than forgiving oneself, but that people normally surprise people. Lily then resigns from work and the day comes for her to leave for college. As she loads her bags in the car, Jerry comes to meet Lily and hands her something from her mail that she believes is for Lily. David had sent a picture he took from the football field that day to Jerry's mail and Jerry thinks he wants to ensure Lily sees it, but Lily says it was his way of making sure he wants to ensure that they see each other. Like the day at Brighton Beach, Lily starts undressing, something unusual for her, and Jerry is amused and asks her to stop. Lily asks for forgiveness and they hug. Then Jerry confesses that she didn't sleep with David but begged him, but he said he was in love with someone else. They forgive each other and hug and then dance half naked with Lily's younger sisters as the sprinklers come on. Thanks for watching. Check out this movie here. And don't forget to subscribe and to turn on the notification bell.